welcome back to day 3 of the European Masters. My name is Kronk, I'm here with rhuckz, and it's been a banger of a day so far.
Absolutely. I mean, game 1, kind of what we expected. Game 2, not at all. And I think it's obviously not a massive upset. I think Gamers Origin are a solid team, strong split. Could see that happening, and they had a convincing win. But either way, it was spicy, and hopefully we get another spicy one here.
Movistar Riders versus GamerLegion, and Movistar Riders, we said it before the break as well, is I think the team where you're looking for. You're the #1 seed from Spain. In the first win, they looked rather convincing, and as you said, Spain, it's still a major region. They still make it very far in the tournament every year, but that grand prize has been elusive for the last 2 years.
Absolutely, and they are wanting a win. Spanish fans, super passionate, would love to get a win in the Masters again. And I think Movistar are the biggest hope for them. You know, winning, obviously having a great run last split, winning the region, well, getting the first spot in terms of qualification is the major thing here. And I think there's a lot of players you can highlight. I think Elyoya, for me, the fact that he managed to move up from the 2nd division and has been a really solid player performing in the SLO is huge.
And then GamerLegion, we already said they made it through play-ins. Didn't really struggle in groups, was a little bit close in terms of the actual playoff game, but they made it through, and they have been one of the more, I want to say, off-beat teams with, for example, last time, really high priority on the Valkyries, which isn't like, it's not an insane pick, but it's not something you see a lot of other teams do.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of spicy picks for GamerLegion. You can see that in the bans. Heimer obviously away from Hjarnan. If Chinese teams had to ban it, then so do we. And the Ziggs as well, also something that can be played bot. But Jhin is starting to have a big resurgence, we've seen, but it is a big pick for Hjarnan in general. So he very much favors that one and will prioritize it here, despite the fact that Caitlyn is open and available. Caitlyn open, not first pick, not taking on this rotation. A little bit surprised in this regard, but I think it shows a bit of a different priority in terms of champions compared to other teams. Now, Movistar, I'm looking towards what they're going to do to potentially facilitate JaVaaa, to facilitate Elyoya, because I think these two are really big driving forces for the team.
And that maybe makes it even more surprise. Okay.
Yeah,
wow,
I mean,
they're ready to go.
Jinx is something that, similar to Ashe and Jhin, she has that range that can keep toe-to-toe with the likes of Caitlyn. It's a little bit weaker though, it needs a bit more gold to get going and doesn't have as much shoving power without obviously just spamming the rockets. It doesn't have an ability to use. But when the enemy team takes a Jhin, you know there's no Caitlyn threat. If you're feeling confident, go for it. You have the Shen to facilitate bot lane, Thresh to offer that safety. This is really putting a lot of eggs in the JaVaaa basket, and I'm excited to see it.
And Jinx has been receiving, you know, buff after buff after buff, and it's not enough to get her to actual viability, to get her high into pick ban.
But it helps.
It helps, right? And we've seen this time and time again within League of Legends, where a champion just gets buffed and buffed and buffed. I think Shen is a really good example.
Look at Caitlyn as well. Caitlyn, yeah. A lot of people are like, oh, she got +5 movement speed and 2 base AD. That did not make her go from like no one plays tier to S+ tier. There's no way you can fool me otherwise. Champs ebb and flow with the meta. When other champs change, they come up. And I think, although Jinx isn't sort of peak meta, potentially going to see something here. Now, we do see the Morgana answer coming out from GamerLegion, so something that can work into the Thresh, but it's not a true counter, because if you do fall behind in the matchup, you can be punished. But definitely something to sort of answer back that bot lane from Movistar Riders. Now, going to the second rotation, we're seeing mid lane bans coming out from GamerLegion, some of those potential blinds that Zyko can go towards. I'd be interested to see where the jungle priority ends up here, because GamerLegion have that Sett that can, in theory, flex what we expect to see in the jungle. Movistar yet to take that jungler for Elyoya.
And yeah, as you say, Sett, a couple of ways you can flex him. I feel like top lane Sett has really fallen out of favor with him getting nerf after nerf after nerf.
Very hard to keep relevant.
It's not great.
And like, unless you're going to stomp lane from level 1, what is the point, realistically? So I kind of feel like that's going to be a jungle Sett. And the question mark is going to be, will Phones take something that can provide a threat in the side lane? I think for me, Phones has been a player who has quite a versatile pool in what he's willing to offer, and very situational. He has some crazy things like the Amumu into Mouse's Ergot that we saw in the Prime League. So excited to see that one. But for now, we're going to see the Olaf ban away from Elyoya.
I love that, but I think that's also something that's important to note with GamerLegion. I love the idea behind it, but it didn't actually work.
Yeah.
And that's something that sometimes happens to GamerLegion, and sometimes it just works amazingly, and sometimes it just...
Yeah, it's one of those things like, whoa, a Mumu into Ergot? Like,
and then
think
it works.
The champion interaction, and then it's like, okay, yeah, but you have the Mumu top. And like, oh, true. There's a problem. Well, we'll see if something spicy comes out. Another mid lane ban coming out towards Nite, which is the Zoe now. Talking with the Akali, this just had a bit of a resurgence. There's been some compensation buffs and seeing it more and more, but instead opting for that Sylas. So far, not a great choice of ults. I think the Stand United is nice, but other than that, it's a little bit meh, but still a powerful pick.
And of course, the Sylas is also something that, as you mentioned previously, was the case in the last game as well. It can be flexed. You can put it against the Shen, has an okay matchup in that. It can match a Stand United. And then on the other hand, you can always put it into the mid lane, as we see the LeBlanc getting picked up here for Zyko.
I really like this. I like the early pressure coming out from Xico. I like the fact it's a good matchup into the Sylas, can punish a melee champion. And also you find pressure mid, you lean it into that bot lane, which is the true goal for this composition. For Elyoya here, I want to see a jungler that can also offer that early pressure, that can go toe-to-toe with that Sett. Toying with the idea of Graves here, something that would scale up as a strong carry, but also a lot of skirmishing power. They're going to go for it, so it means they have two avenues to play for those late game sustained damage carries, and a lot of tools to facilitate them. I look at the Shen and the Thresh facilitators, the LeBlanc is providing pressure, and now GamerLegion, your chance to answer, and the question is going to be, will it be that Sylas top or mid, and who's getting the counter pick, and what are they going to do with it?
You can also imagine as LeBlanc, you're really happy that your team, the enemy team doesn't want to be building armor. They want to be building armor, so your blow potential remains relevant. Now, GamerLegion, they see blow-up potential, they see really big explosive team fights, and they go with the Kindred here for, I want to say, Rabble, which would mean that it's going to be Phones that's play the Sett in top lane.
Yeah, not a huge fan of Sett in top lane overall. I think, honestly, at the point it is now, you kind of have to snowball early. You can do it. It's possible to snowball from an early level, but Shen's trading power is pretty big, and then you're forcing like the Blade and King Q-Max build to really hold relevancy, so it's going to have some power, but ultimately not a big fan. I think the main reason was they wanted to adapt to the Graves, put Rabble in a favorable position on this Kindred. It's a decent matchup, and also, as you said, the protection later on. If they do try and find some picks with the LeBlanc, they have the Kindred ultimate, they have the Morgana Black Shield, keep Hjarnan safe, and allow the team to turn plays around.
Oh no, how are you feeling for the Movistar Riders?
I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah. I like the draft. I think they've got the tools they need, and
I like the Jinx.
Yeah, I like the Jinx. I think it's innovative. I want to see how it comes out in laning phase, because I want to see attention there. I think you have the LeBlanc in mid lane. I'd like to see some aggression from Zyko. Have Elyoya providing pressure, lean towards bot, and the thing is, with a Morgana support, if you fall behind, it hurts. Because essentially Thresh can just walk freely, and you don't really have an answer. You can't black shield everyone.
We're currently 3 for 3 with aggressive level 1 grouping. Now, GamerLegion, I say aggressive, and as they hear that, they're like, nah.
Yeah, well, Movistar's actually going for a very defensive level 1, so
yeah.
If there was an invade here, due to the lack of vision from hiding the rushes, Movistar could turn this around, so both of them clearly had plans in this situation. Nothing will come from it. It's just interesting to see.
And we call Movistars.
Oh.
Yes.
Can you spot it? It's on the scoreboard. It's somewhere.
There is, you mean a lack of something?
A lack of something.
There is something that should be there, but is not there.
Well, no TP as well on this LeBlanc.
Oh, Xico.
Yeah,
yep, that's the moment.
Noticed. That's the moment where it twigs. And it's a little bit too late, because you're going to start missing minions at this point. I think that's at least a minion gone, possibly even 2. We'll see. But either way, it definitely hurts when you want to be putting the pressure in this lane. You've gone Ignite to end up starting with no items.
This is why you hope that GamerLegion thinks you're invading.
Yeah.
And like just plays really defensively and doesn't really miss anything. But unfortunately, mistakes happen. And this is a
actually, might get in time.
Actually,
yeah, got XP. Got XP.
Yeah.
Didn't get the gold. So, you
fine.
Know, time is a little bit off. Got back in time. By milliseconds, by the way, was just in range, so plays it safe, and Zyko not really going to be punished in that regard. And honestly, GamerLegion probably don't even know that happens.
No.
So
they will look back at the photo like, hold up.
It's one of these really weird things that happens where, like, these players have played thousands of games, and every time you're used to buying those items, and it just feels like in these high-pressure situations, you just kind of, like, it slips the mind. You're so focused on the team comms, and this is the game plan, and it just forgets, which is weird considering it's such an ingrained habit.
And you would expect that, you know, it wouldn't slip your mind, but it happens to the best of us. And like you say, it didn't have a lasting impact. So let's take a look at Movistar Riders, because we keep hyping them up. They're the #1 seed. Thus for the #1 seeds have done great until this tournament, until Mouse just took a loss. And they're the team a lot of people are looking towards to finally getting Spain over that finish line again.
Yeah, and it's the big thing. You know, they had a strong performance in spring, but they made the top 4, which was pretty strong considering that the Prime League did manage to get a team top 4. The NLC, well, it wasn't the NLC, it was the UKLC then, didn't get a team top 4, but it wasn't enough. They didn't get any further than that. But I'm going to hold that because we've seen potentially Phones overextended quite a bit in this lane and a chance for Elyoya to punish.
He's very far forward. Needs to respect the taunt, but looks like he is doing that.
You see the Shen just walking towards you, you kind of like,
no.
And if you look at the state of the wave, there is no reason to walk up. You are missing nothing here. The wave is going to push into you. So Phone's playing it respectful, I do like to see. But dive potentially coming out. That's a big wave stacked with Elyoya on standby. And I saw Zyko walking up on the minimap, but I think they opted away from it, not committing to it. There was a fleeting moment. But instead decided,
a glimpse of a dive in another timeline that will never actually come to fruition. And Movistar Riders, the early game, not too eventful thus far. Unlike the last 2 games, there's no level 1 kills, there's no big blow-up moments. Rabble losing the Kindred coin flip game as Elyoya will be picking up that topside scuttle and with that deny the first mark. And that's not really a problem. It's like if you don't get mark upon mark upon mark at some point, it becomes a little bothersome. But thus far, not too much action. And where do you expect this action to be? Because you see the Jinx, and I'm thinking she needs attention, because otherwise it's going to be very rough.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, for GamerLegion, you're quite happy just farming up, and Rabble finding opportunities to pick up marks, to be aggressive, able to get that bot lane scuttle, which is obviously nice for him. And you're going to have priority in bot lane, so you can lean on that. For Movistar, you want to see some pressure mid, you want to see Nite put on the back foot. You see Zyko looking to do there. And then on top of that, lean that into the bot lane. I think especially once beansu hits level 6, that is your big enabler moment. That is when you have the Shen out to back you up, and you can start to lean a lot of pressure down towards the bot lane, get the Jinx ahead, get the ball rolling, and start to feel a bit more comfortable.
Now, I talked about Movistar. GamerLegion, in that regard, kind of has a similar problem where they've been to EUM countless times, and they never seem to do quite as what you would know, because you knocked them out with BTXL once in the tiebreaker situation. And I'm wondering if this is going to be the iteration, if this is going to be the EUM where GamerLegion can really get it all aligned, knock it out of the park, get the odd ball drafts, get the game plan going, and kind of work from there as we see some movement surrounding this first Infernal Drake.
And it's just difficult because GamerLegion, they've always been strong, but they've struggled to make it to the next level, to really be the defining team for the region, to go further at EU Masters. And there is always that hope that they'll be able to do so. But I think in this matchup, the pressure's more so on Movistar because there's more seeds available for the side of the Prime League still left in the tournament. And on top of that, this is Spain's first seed. This is their main hope that they want to be successful compared to the Prime League's 3rd seed. So a lot more emphasis on Movistar doing well here. GamerLegion so far, not much has happened. They're holding out okay. And just a little bit of back and forth around this bot side. You now see that Movistar have the priority afforded to them after the wave bouncing back. So it means there's an opportunity for Elyoya to play a little bit more aggressive with the support of his team.
Rabble will be seen there. Not actually taken down. As Elyoya starts up the Drake here, and with Cryo in ball and mid, I don't think there's a lot that GamerLegion can really do. They are surrounding the Drake, but curious to see whether or not they actually want to go for this. So there goes the Dark Binding, is found on JaVaaa. Xico handles his back, Rabble gets taken fairly low, doesn't really have anything available to keep him alive. And that's first blood and the Drake going over to Movistar Riders. Great start there as Nite goes in deep, has to flash over the wall, while rhuckz is doing a lot of work, and now they're stuck in the pit. No actual follow-through available, I say, as Zyko flashes in, gets exhausted. Nite still alive, and now the extended Drake comes in, absconded duct with a Kingslayer, and Nite picks up the kill on Zyko.
Oh, Yavis fishing, but does not find it. Ends up being actually a bit favorable there for GamerLegion overall. 2 for 1, despite the fact that Shen providing that shield, despite actually good early play from Movistar Riders, they overcommit. They overcommit. beansu actually has his stand United interrupted there, which is why you didn't see him join. And it ends up being GamerLegion, despite losing the Dragon, navigating that one okay.
And what does this mean? Because you see the pressure coming through here now. That combination as Curtain is caught. JaVaaa can stand behind rhuckz, who will keep him safe there, even though Flip Shot doesn't do a lot to a Thresh with this amount of health. As Nite gets engaged on, Zyko throws down a lot of burst. The smoke screen keeps him in the dark, and he will go down. Now, can Rabble pick up a return kill? Goes very deep down. Elyoya will pick it up. And now, not even level 6 yet, but this Kindred doing absolute obscene amounts of damage. Will not find the second kill, but decisive play as a taunt under the turret is not good news for Phones, but fortunately the Haymaker keeps him alive.
A lot of skirmishing. It was a little bit slow at first, and it's just blown up here. Zyko and Elyoya look for a 2v2, but Nite just survives for a bit too long, and the turnaround comes in. Ultimately, I wanted to see a... yeah, that's definitely a mistake. Oh, or is it? Oh, yeah. In, out.
It was a bait.
Yep. Pretty nifty, but does get denied away from that camp, is one thing. But ultimately, GamerLegion just navigating these ones a little bit better. I wanted to see that bit of momentum come out from the mid-jungle, but Zyko, despite some nice play there, wasn't really able to find it. Now they're looking for Phones in the top lane.
And beansu immediately forced to flash. Phones goes in deep, finds it. Smash, is it enough? It is. With a beautiful showstopper and a Haymaker, he gets the damage done. This Sett needs to snowball, and it looks like for now he might be able to, as Elyoya doesn't have enough damage with the collateral damage. Movistar taking the loss there.
Oh, there's a Jinx flying by as well. Yeah, I mean, Phone's playing it well, just finding the opportunity to take out beansu, puts the pressure on him, and then that passive healing that comes out from the Sett when low HP, actually just enough to keep him alive in this situation and start looking a little bit rough for Movistar. We'll see a replay of this, and beansu wants to keep Phones interested, wants to go in early, but ultimately taunts into a position you don't want to be in. It's like now you're trapped, like, oh, I guess I have to flash. Phones will just follow you, ult into the Haymaker afterwards, means you get a ton of damage, and the shielding and the Triumph comes in there. 118 HP, makes it difficult for Elyoya to chase, and he sees the blast cone, he's like, I can't chase further, ult should be enough. Oh, just a little bit of help.
Just a little, but it's enough.
It's enough.
He gets out alive, and it's GamerLegion that finds the upper end in these skirmishes, but Movistar Riders is not taking any rest as they go for the rift held here. There is a position to contest as Rabble comes in over the wall. He's going to look for the smite, which is available. Elyoya also looking for it, but instead, the Herald resets, and both teams will decide to back off here unless they can find a skirmish, because Hjarnan also rotated over. And now it's GamerLegion who start up the Rift Herald here. Movistar Riders do have the ability to get beansu to join this fight as Zyko goes in for a little bit of poke. Rabble gets taken very low, still the fight available, but doesn't really go for it quite yet. As the Blue team do find the Rift Herald, Movistar Riders finds the smite. Phones goes down as well, and they turn this around as Rabble gets blown up. Everyone from GamerLegion running for the hills. And nothing that Movistar Riders can do that with all the pickups they find.
But it's a beautiful play coming out there from Movistar. I think the key thing is Zyko finding that near assassination of Rabble, put him in a really precarious position. And after that point, they were like, we can go for this. And speaking of going for something,
Hjarnan alone underneath his turret. rhuckz will be tanking there, and is going to go down eventually. It's a 1-for-1 trade with a nice binding, but still not a position you want to be in.
Yeah, and it's a Jinx Graves putting damage onto this tower, getting it lower, getting the plates. And it's the AD carry going down, missing out on that farm. So more good plays from Movistar, and it feels like they've just come online after that Baron play. They knew it was risky to stay, they pull away, and they look for the re-engage. And Zyko really was stellar in that skirmish. And he hasn't had the best EU Masters so far. There was some earlier games where he looked a little bit rough, I think against Rogue, but here he is looking solid in this LeBlanc.
It's a very tight matchup thus far. We see advantage being traded back and forth, skirmishes being set up, overextensions. First Movistar, they need to back off, then GamerLegion going a little bit too deep, and the damage that comes through from Zyko, as you were saying, is just not really manageable. And now it's up to Movistar Riders. They have taken a small lead, very, very minor, as we see a lot of damage yet again coming down on Rabble. rhuckz with a beautiful lantern. As the damage comes through, Rabble trying to disengage as much as he can there, but then we see the flash forward from Elyoya. He finds the collateral damage, and that's so much hurt being brought to GamerLegion as the tempo from Movistar Riders is just too much. Xico finds yet another kill. The teleport, probably not necessary, but Movistar Riders find a 2-for-0.
Definitely not necessary there, but ultimately they get the favorable play. I love the aggression from Elyoya. I love the follow-up from rhuckz. Not only lanterning, but flashing to extend the range. Didn't land everything instantly, but they managed to chase down the kills, and Movistar just finding more and more pressure.
And what we wanted to see from Movistar is attention towards his Jinx, as we see here the replay with Rabble just a little bit too far forward.
Yeah, and I don't know why you overstep in that situation when you only have Nite to back you up, but I love the flash from rhuckz there. Doesn't manage to connect the hook, but they are still willing to chase. You can see Graves going forward, does have the damage this time to blow up the collateral, and they just keep on chasing in this situation.
That's how we won't talk about that.
Yeah,
I
think it was sort of warding them off, making sure, but Xico, he's looking potentially for a steal here. Elyoya's there as well.
Again, and the steal from Elyoya. They don't miss.
Just don't miss. I mean, he managed to steal that Herald before in a much more precarious situation. That was a bit of an easier steal, especially the level advantage, but even so, it always fills you with confidence in the matchup, and really Rabble feeling a little bit rough right now. JaVaaa
is very enthusiastic, tries to go to the lantern, does find it with the flash and phones. Probably very sad that he didn't get the kill.
Yeah, I like as much as it looked a little bit int, I like the patience when you have it, not just to flash instantly and get potentially interrupted and knocked off the lantern. You accept the CC, you're like, okay, I don't think he'll kill me. Does eventually get out, but...
Brave, but it works.
A bit of an overstep. You don't want to really be losing your flash in that situation, but you do survive. Now, a little bit of stock. Movistar 2k gold ahead, 2 dragons up on top of that, but still a lot of towers up and available up for the taking. Zyko, though, 4-1 on this LeBlanc. There was a Syndra game earlier in this tournament, which I was not really convinced by against Ego Rogue. They did win that, but Zyko looked a little bit off. But this LeBlanc game, really big redemption for him. Been a driving force, and we needed this. You pick the LeBlanc in this scenario, and you need to be a pressure factor to facilitate your team to lean into that Jinx. And JaVaaa isn't super fed right now, but has gotten through the laning phase pretty comfortably.
And we talked about the fact that Phones finds a nice base breaker, trying to get away, and he's flashed away from the top. beansu keeps going. Rabble is coming to try and keep his top laner alive. They can't find the lumber spike, can't get in place. And it's yet another kill, and now it feels like GamerLegion is not able to pick up the pace, able to match what Movistar Riders is throwing at them.
And it hurts so much when you see that moment where you're about to get in range to be able to save. Not quite there, but Nite looking for an all-in.
Nite going very deep here on top of Zyko. He's just going to try to disengage. Nite, of course, has picked up the Mimic, but Zyko is getting close to the turret. And there we see the dive in. Stand-up dunk does not hit. Zyko chooses to go back in, flashes forward. He's going big on Nite. Does he find the solar kill? He turns it around, and it is a beautiful kill from Zyko.
Oh, what a play there. Not only gets away, but the confidence to turn it around in that situation. The flash, and like, no, I'm taking this 1v1. Love to see it. More of a fight coming out here, though. It's like Elyoya will play with death, but manages to get away, but we're still looking.
And Hjarnan gets taken low. JaVaaa now with the exhaust needs to piece out of that and decides to run off. But all in all, Movistar, this is the confidence we want to see from the #1 seed from the SLO.
Zyko is just so aggressive in that scenario. You get TP'd on, you get chunked out, you're being challenged, finds the window to turn it around, flashes to make sure you land the chain as well. That's gotta hit for Nite. It's just like the fact that you're like, I've got this, I'm TPing in, I found the window, and you just get demolished.
It's not good.
Suboptimal.
I would say so, yes.
And here's the replay. Nite, gap closing a fair amount, uses the stolen distortion. The chain doesn't connect. This chain comes in, flashes to ensure it locks down, gets the second chain, ignite, and the distortion finally comes through. Enough. A lot of players would have found the chain there. Not a lot would have flashed and then been like, I am killing you no matter what.
It's over.
Huge confidence from Zyko, and it's a good redemption. I'm going to keep honing in on that. That Syndra game against Ego Rogue was not good. This has been a real redemption. Him and Elyoya have been massive in this game so far.
And what I love about the Movistar Riders in this game is that you also see the respect. They back off when they feel like they can't actually take an objective. They simultaneously, when they see an opening, they don't just go for it. They hard commit. You see the constant flashes, rhuckz flashing in with that lantern. You see Zyko flashing back in there. As you say, not a lot of plays, not a lot of teams will do that. And Movistar Riders are really bringing here what we wanted to see from them. Whereas GamerLegion, just feeling like they can't quite match Movistar's individual play, at least in this game. Yeah,
there was moments in the early levels where if it looked okay, and then it just felt like Movistar knew what the game plan was. They've got confidence in themselves, confidence in each other, and it's what we expect from the first seed coming from the SLO. It's what we need if they're going to have a chance at competing for the title of EU Masters, but this is good so far. Still only 3,500, well, just over gold ahead. Now looking towards that third dragon. Often when teams look to contest it, to deny it, Movistar set their sights on this Herald. GamerLegion trying to get control of the dragon area. There's a lot of vision being achieved down that side of the map. But Movistar, no doubt, after taking this Herald, they're going to start moving down to contest it.
We see Zyko and JaVaaa being on zoning duty here. Keep the rest of the team away. As the bomb will be found. Rocket now in the arsenal of Nite. And we are going to see a skirmish surrounding this Ocean Drake. Don't forget, it's going to be a sore point here for Movistar if they find it, but they also have the added pressure from the Rift Herald in the mid lane here.
Yeah, it's a nice play. You know the Herald's spawning a bit before the Dragon. You grab the Herald, you take it down, throw it in mid lane, you get the pressure towards the Dragon. And it essentially means that the enemy team has to respond in mid lane. So they move up, they clear out the wave. They've already lost that tower, and now they're forced to push into the Dragon area. And against LeBlanc, goodbye.
You can't walk in here, Rabble, but he does, and he gets blown up! And just as I say that, we see that Visdom follows him into the grave. Hjarnan now out of position. Zyko is smelling blood and going deep, and that is Movistar Riders taking everything they could possibly want.
Yeah, they got all of it there. They get the tower, they get the dragon, they get a clean team fight, and now they're looking towards that tier 2. It's just some really excellent play from Movistar.
It must be so disheartening as well for GamerLegion, because there's so many moments where you feel like it's kind of close, and then you see Rabble getting blowed up, they're like, no, never mind.
I mean, they're really far behind at this point. It's talking about it was 3,500 gold lead now. It's looking at 6,500. Soul point as well. I mean, what replay? Where is Rabble? Just instantly gone. They managed to take out Visdom as well, and that gives JaVaaa, they get excited to chase down, and the whole team is just going aggressive again. rhuckz flashed in, maybe a bit necessary, but I love the hype. I love the fact
they're just going down.
They're going.
And this is the worst part. You're up against a 10 Magi stack LeBlanc, and you're like, oh, maybe I should buy some MR. And then you look at the enemy team, and you see a lethality
Especially,
Graves.
yeah, it's a Ghost Blade as well, and they've got Graves. You have so much movement speed with the phase rush, but also the collateral damage hits a lot. I don't think we're going to see many situations like we did before when phones just survived it. It's probably going to be several hundred damage overkill next time, but Movistar back on the map. Seen them set up quite a bit of control over the bot side. Obviously, there's not too many major objectives they're able to take right now. It's looking towards that bot lane in the tower. JaVaaa has rhuckz standing by here.
Needs to be careful to not get interrupted, but no opportunity really there for GamerLegion as Zyko goes in yet again. He's not afraid of Nite. We've already seen how this one goes as Nite gets taken down. The collateral damage with a last little bit of damage from Zyko is going to be more than enough. And it is yet again Movistar Riders. And I love this from GamerLegion. Just go for the Hail Mary. Go for the Baron.
The game feels pretty doomed, so just coin flip it at a Baron. You can see Movistar starting to move over. Will they get there in time? Probably. It's Jhin, not the fastest one.
Well,
you have to try.
Through here. You can't
it's
get
still
this
so healthy.
It's not going to happen, Dan. GamerLegion just has to run away. Wait. Now they got to hope that they don't get picked up.
Thanks for the leash. Thanks for the leash. And look at bot lane tower as well. Oh, it just goes from bad to worse. GamerLegion, like, okay, we've got to commit now. They're going to try and re-engage here.
We see damage coming through. That was a showstopper on top of rhuckz, but it's just Elyoya, and he's quite tanky with True Grit, able to get away there as well. Now Nite coming in from the backline. He needs more than enough damage. Stand United comes through, but it's not enough to keep the Graves alive, and now Movistar Riders need to be really careful as they get taken lower and lower. rhuckz will also be sacrificed. JaVaaa and beansu get away there, though, and they do pick up the inhibitor.
But even so, I mean, that was good for GamerLegion, all things considered. They're going back to the Baron. It's 5 members against 3. No jungler for the side of Movistar. They need this Baron to have a hope in the game.
GamerLegion is not giving up, despite the 7k gold disadvantage. They want to stay alive in this race. They want to take down the number from the SLO. Zyko, we know how much damage his man can do. He goes in deep. Look at those health bars. They get taken low, but Lamp's fight keeps everyone alive, at least for now. beansu trying to go for the heal. There goes Zyko. He goes in deep. That's one kill. The resets are not enough as Hjarnan goes forward for the 4th shot and finds the kill. And GamerLegion keeps the hope in the dream alive, but there is a very, very, very mad LeBlanc that is coming over. Doesn't quite get in yet. They're standing in this brush. That's a dark binding. What is Xico gonna do? Is he really gonna let Hjarnan back? He tries to bait it out, and Hjarnan nerves of steel.
Oh, the ult coming in from Graves at the end, but order the recall there from Hjarnan, playing with...
Oh? No!
Does not...
No!
Little bit further, and you will see Visdom.
Oh, Alcove plays.
Oh, Alcove. How OP is Alcove? Real talk. There's a lot went on there.
Is there any situation without an Alcove they get out? No.
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 No. They checked all the brushes. They were throwing abilities.
Alcoves.
But yeah.
Now, what does it actually change?
It's a little bit more gold towards GamerLegion, so they're not as far behind. It's showing some life, some confidence in the players, which is good, but they are still massively far behind. It is still very much an uphill battle.
Then how do you get back into this GamerLegion? And I mean, I guess we see more of those plays, right?
Yeah.
Try to throw a wrench in the plans.
There's a lot of CC and skirmish power. If you can isolate a target and take them down, that is going to be a huge factor. We saw them do that to Elyoya there. We saw, again, it got difficult when you have unchecked carries on Movistar. JaVaaa was an issue. Lamb's Spike did save them, but it was definitely precarious. Zyko's also been a big problem.
I'm afraid it is going to get to the point where Rabble needs to preemptively Lamb's Respite because Zyko is on 20 stack Magis and nearing a death cap.
I mean, at this point, yes. I mean, he's about to finish the Rabadons, and that will just be so much damage. And already you've seen how close he is just to one-shot people.
He just does, right?
I think if Zyko just doesn't exist, I'm like, GamerLegion could potentially take these team fights, but he does exist, and he's a problem.
Yes, he
and
is
now,
there.
I mean, they're not even able to get out of the base to contest this Ocean Dragon. It's just Soul. And that's always rough when you see a Soul just taking free. Like,
it's not a good sign, man.
No, it's not a good sign at all. And that's going to make it that bit harder to pick out one of these critical carries to find a pick. You're going to have to invest in previous wounds, limit the effectiveness of that Ocean Soul.
Which doesn't feel great if you look at the itemization, right? Like,
just look
Phones
at,
doesn't have a second...
Forget it. Look at Zyko. Just look at that. It's Rabadon's in.
It's over.
That's a lot of AP.
It's not good.
That is a lot of AP. It's going to hit. But honestly, for science, I want to see how much damage Zyko does here. I want to see him pop someone.
You know what all the magic resist is on the top of on the side of GamerLegion?
It's that cowl.
There's a cowl and there's Merc threats. And that's it.
Yeah.
It's not good, Dan.
Not really enough.
It's very rough, but GamerLegion, I guess if they pick Zyko off, then it's fine. But Zyko has no chill and goes in very deep there on Nite. He's going to pick up the kill here, but is now in a precarious position with Stand United. That might be turned around. No other teleports available as we see the taunt comes through. Zyko can't afford to give his bounty up here, but he will get taken low. And that's a shutdown going to Rabble. GamerLegion are still in this game, and you can't overextend like that, Movistar Riders. But now the follow-up might be just a little bit too much as the showstopper comes through. Phones able to keep himself alive a little bit longer with that, but everything needs to be used defensively. And you get the LeBlanc, but at what cost?
Yeah, I mean, you lose 2 members, you finally kill Zyko, you're like, yes, we got the LeBlanc. Oh, wait, they have the rest of the team. Fortunately, actually managed to get out okay. Rabble escapes, Phones escapes. That could have been a lot worse, but it's a 3-for-1 trade. Even with the shutdown on the Medjais and the gold, it's still not great. And with those members now only just respawning, Movistar are heading straight towards that Baron. GamerLegion need to answer this quickly.
Zyko nowhere near, but if the Baron goes down before GamerLegion can be dead, that's not a problem at all, as Rabble, beautiful blind, semi-blind Urkus. Rebel keeps himself alive a little bit longer with the Lantern Respite. Goes forward there, Phones trying to zone, trying to buy space for Rebel to jump over that wall, maybe go for a Baron steal. Movistar Riders really want that Baron, and now Zyko is coming over. We see that Hjarnan is trying to keep his base alive. As Phones gets taken low, the poke damage is going to be too much, and that's the first reset for JaVaaa. He moves forward, he is excited, but it's not enough, it doesn't matter. beansu is just keeping the Baron leashed. That's Rabble down, that's no more smite available, and Zyko has joined the fight yet again, and that is really enough of a sign of how doomed this is for GamerLegion as they get hooked.
rhuckz does not miss with these hooks. He's just landing every single one. And
every time!
And beansu kept the Baron leashed as well.
For like a minute!
Movistar are getting everything and more in this situation. And I think this game started out, we had hopes for GamerLegion, and they've just been annihilated.
Fortunately for Zyko, his... oh, never mind. Yeah, no, I was about to say, he's got his Magi stacks back, but he... Yeah.
We'll ignore that.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Movistar doing going huge in this game, and it just feels like every player firing on all cylinders. Ignore that loopsy daisy from Zyko there. rhuckz has been massive on this Thresh, and he's not even necessarily the highlight player in this game. It's just another player who stepped up for this roster. I think we're seeing why this is the main hope for Spain. If they want to get a win at EU Masters, the first one since 2018, Movistar are that big hope, and they are really proving it here against GamerLegion.
It's decisiveness, right?
Yeah.
The fact that Zyko
Confidence.
knows his limits, exactly, no hesitation whatsoever. Now, you know, there's been a couple of plays left and right. They probably need to clean up by the time you get to playoffs, but for now, it's fine. It's fine. On the other end, GamerLegion, though, we were aware that it's a third seed of the DAC region. They got through playoffs, but it wasn't that clean versus the first seed of the SLO. Now, GamerLegion, in the early game, they were able to match. But it feels like the pace from Movistar became just too much in the mid-game, and then it started snowballing very quickly from that.
Yeah, they didn't let up. As soon as Movistar got a bit of ground, they just kept putting more and more pressure, and it started from that Herald fight. Movistar knew exactly when to disengage and re-engage. Zyko found that beautiful damage on a Rabble, and the momentum's just been on their side since their point. Now, at this position in the game, 10k gold down against an Ocean Soul, against a Baron, GamerLegion need a desperation fight at this point. It's either that or hold on for the Elder Dragon. When we start pushing up, and GamerLegion, you need to be able to defend your base.
It's a Hail Mary teamfight, all or nothing. Look at Zyko. What is that LeBlanc going to do? Who is he going to delete this time? What does he feel like snacking on? It looks like it's going to be Nite. Fairly tanky there, and will not go too low, but Zyko is like, yeah, and just jump over the wall. There's not a lot of risk there as the push comes through now. We see the bot lane inhibitor being threatened. This three-man unit on the top side for Movistar Riders is doing enough, and I don't think he can save this inhibitor in any way, shape, or form. Hjarnan gets taken very low, is able to dodge away from the rocket. He moves so far forward, trying to get an auto in. It's not really working out well for them. Now needs to go back, and the base is quickly crumbling. beansu is having a great time playing PvE. First it was Baron, now it is turrets, and it just goes down every single time. The curtain is called, but the curtain might be called on the chances for GamerLegion here, as their base is slowly falling. It's crumbling. The last inhibitor is going to go down, and it's looking like the first seed for the SLO is living up to the promise. As you said, Zyko having an absolute bang of a redemption game. GamerLegion not quite giving up yet, but this is not looking good, as they take so much poke from the LeBlanc, and this is an Ocean Soul team then. They can just keep fighting as long as they want. Lamp Sprite throw down there for Rabble, but there is just not enough money. There is not enough damage. There is not enough anything for GamerLegion, and Movistar Riders will take a decisive win here in the third game of the day.
Yeah, GamerLegion still trying right to the very end, but it's just not enough. Zyko with the triple kill there in the end. They're still fishing actually for kills. They're not done yet. Oh, the hook again from rhuckz. He just does not miss on this Thresh.
Point-and-click hooks. Not bad.
Yeah, they need a nerf, in all honesty.
And Movistar Riders, you look at that performance and you're like, okay, SLO, we see you. We see what you're capable of. And the great thing about that is you can go to any player and look at what a performance. Yeah. I think weirdly enough, only the Jinx was like, she was there, but like everyone else just...
But JaVaaa did his job. In the team fights, he was there on the cleanup, getting the momentum from the stand united. We saw, obviously, Elyoya and Zyko in particular was huge on the LeBlanc. Driving force, massive momentum, smashing people left, right, and center. But then even when we look at the support and top roles, which were less of a carry and more for facilitating, beansu was just filling the role for the team with the Shen ults, tanking up the Baron, helping the siege in the bot lane, and rhuckz with the hooks was, as you said, point and click. It was overwhelmingly a positive performance from Movistar.
Amazing performance from Movistar there, and still a lot to look at for GamerLegion, but in the end, it was enough. We're going to go to a short break, and then we'll be back with more EU Masters. Welcome back to the third day of European Masters. My name is Chronica. This is rhuckz. Our games have been really good.
Yeah.
Like really, really, really good, because that was a highlight performance from the SLO.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, we came into this for like Movistar Riders. They're the big hope for Spain. You said yourself, Spanish saviors. And we saw just a great performance coming out from them. And it just felt like the aggression here was beautiful. rhuckz going so far forward with the Lantern, the Flash. And it felt like as soon as Movistar had an advantage, they just constantly beat GamerLegion with it again and again.
And if there's one story, one clip of this game, you know it's going to be this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Zyko, in all honesty, had a bit of a rough performance in that game against Go Rogue on the Syndra. It was not good, but this LeBlanc was a redemption. He was smurfing here, on Nite in particular in that clip, and then the whole team sort of come together in this moment around the Baron. Really felt like this one was going to be a huge pinnacle almost for JaVaaa, but even though the Lamb's Respite comes in, it's enough for Movistar to push them off. And I felt like this team didn't miss a beat throughout the game. Even when GamerLegion tried to answer, it felt like they still felt in control, they still felt on top. And it's what we expected from the SLO's #1 seed.
And it's the confidence. It's so many flashes forward that you see, even in the last fight, right? Like JaVaaa flashes into 5 men because he knows one kill and it's over.
Yeah.
Right? You get the spread damage, you get the rockets, and get excited. And that is something that I thought was beautiful to watch in terms of GamerLegion is a really strong team that has performed very well within the DAC region, and then you just see Movistar Riders, and it just seemed like they're an entirely different level.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing, is that I've kind of honed in, we talked about at the start of the show, is the first seeds from the major regions. We saw Mouse actually get taken down a peg there, but we've seen Movistar still strong. There's still Misfits who potentially can be a big driving force contenders for the top spot. I still feel like there's a lot up in the air coming out of the group stages. We've seen a fair bit of the teams. There still feels like a lot to be decided on who's really on top.
I can't wait.
I can't wait.
I can't wait. Because you called Mouse, right? Everyone, you saw that, right?
No.
He called Mouse as the tournament favorites. Caster cursed himself and the team, and it unfortunately didn't work out. Now, all in all,
it's one game. You know, they can still bounce back.
It's fine. Yeah. That's what everyone says when they lose, right?
Is that what you say when the Benelux loses?
Well,
it's one of you masters. We'll get the next one. How many times have you said that?
A lot. A lot. And our scores have not been getting better either. Although I genuinely believe that, you know, we set little steps every year.
You actually made it out of play-ins last time.
Yes.
But not this time.
Well, this time we were in play-ins with LDLC.
Oh, but you didn't make it out, is what I'm saying.
No.
But you did before. So that's getting worse.
Okay, well, you know, enough of orcs. Enough of me. We are going to go to a short break, and then we'll be back with Trouble and Pingwing for Sub Up versus Ago Rogue.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the EU Masters, where we pit the very best ERL teams against one another while showcasing up-and-coming European talent. 12 regions will compete to decide who will reign supreme over Europe, so be the first to scout and the first to cheer. Let's get right into it. EU Masters begins with the play-in group stage, where all regions will have at least one team represented, with a total of 16 teams divided into 4 groups. Here, each team will play against other teams in their group twice, with the top 2 seeds moving on to the play-in knockout stage. The winners here will move on to the group stage, where 12 teams have already pre-qualified. This group stage is where the teams will compete in a double round robin, with the top 2 teams advancing to the knockout stage. From September 15th to 16th, like before, top seeds will play against the second seeded teams from other groups in a best of 3, with winners moving on to the semi-finals. Here, the final 4 teams will play a best of 3 and fight for their spot in the finals, where it'll be a best of 5 to determine the next EU Masters champion. Each season, fresh talent explodes onto the Rift. The likes of Nemesis, Kazi, Selfmade and Humanoid all rose up through the EU Masters. But who will be this year's champion? Who will be the next breakout player to make it into the LEC? Join the ride, tag along and witness history in the making. Bye for now.